The best possible thing that they should do at the moment is to prepare for a proper defense for these 6 people, and not to try to go for a deferral motion. A deferral motion will also not help, because if you go to the Security Council and ask them for a deferral, your only chance of being successful is when you are able to prove, to establish for the Security Council members that in Kenya there is a serious threat to peace, security and stability. Kenya should actually, work towards the establishment of a proper local mechanism, a really credible local mechanism, and then go to the ICC, to the judges, and say, hey, you've been preparing this case for these 6. We now have established our own credible mechanism, and we can now do it ourselves. Then the judges will look at what Kenya has established and will decide it based on the merits, whether it's credible or not. And that's the best way to go. If Kenya wants to achieve something with the international community, it has to be united and approach those in the international community that can deal with these issues in a united fashion. By going as only part of a coalition government, it is actually undermining its own credibility.
Well, if you look at what the Rome Statute has to say, it says that, and this is in Article 16, famous Article 16, it says that the Security Council can defer a case the ICC is hearing for a year, acting under Chapter 7, and that means Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which is about international peace and security. What it doesn't say is that the Security Council can step in to simply defer a case for a year because it thinks it knows better than the ICC. If the International Criminal Court is an independent body, and that independence would obviously be completely destroyed if the Security Council could simply step in and overrule it. So that clause is there for very exceptional circumstances where there's a threat to international peace and security. And that's the mandate of the Security Council. The mandate of the Security Council is dealing with threats to international peace and security. The mandate of the International Criminal Court is to deal with criminal cases. So it seems that, although I would never want to preempt any discussion that might take place in the Security Council, one of the things that they would have to consider, one of the things they'd have to bear in mind, would be whether this is a threat to international peace and security, and whether there's any mandate, any locus for the Security Council to even consider this issue. If Kenya sets up a local tribunal under best international practice, which we've always supported, and we've said consistently that we think that would be a really good thing for justice in Kenya, then Kenya is absolutely at liberty to go to the ICC and to say that they want to take jurisdiction back to Kenya because they have set up a process that will deal with that. And it's that application to the ICC that would seem to us to be a logical way to approach it if that's what Kenya wants to do.
We've made very clear that we support continuation of the International Criminal Court process. We think that moving ahead with the International Criminal Court process is essential to ensure accountability and to counter impunity in the country. And we want to see the process move forward expeditiously. We want to see this process carried through. We want to see it carried through expeditiously because it's so important. It's important that those who are charged be investigated and prosecuted. Given what happened here in 2008, the terrible violence, justice is required in order to ensure that there is no instability like that again. Some people say, well, moving ahead with the International Criminal Court process could cause trouble or instability. My answer to that is just the opposite. Not moving ahead is what will cause instability in the future. So it's critical for the future stability of this country and democracy of the country that the process move ahead.